the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The ayes have it.
I beg to move this House do now adjourn.
The question is that this House do now adjourn. And I call Alison Bennett.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. In my constituency of Mid Sussex, our young people are fortunate to have several highly regarded sixth form options, including 3 brilliant colleges just over the constituency boundary in Brighton, Hove and Horsham. Varndene is one of only a handful of state-funded colleges offering the prestigious International Baccalaureate. Meanwhile, Basvic students received over 50 offers to study at Oxford and Cambridge last year. And Collier's has the best results in West Sussex and is in the top 15 colleges nationally for value added. Since late November, these 3 local colleges have been amongst 32 across England, including the one in the Minister's own constituency, I believe, who have held 7 strike days. 4 before Christmas, and to date, 3 in January. I bring the debate this evening following written parliamentary questions, the answers to which further frustrated those caught up in this dispute. In my opinion, the government has dropped the ball on fairly and adequately funding non-academised sixth form colleges. I feel that teachers are being treated unfairly and that students in Mid-Sussex and beyond are being badly failed as a result. I will give way.
I thank the honourable member for giving way and for raising this issue, which is also affecting Scarborough Sixth Form in my constituency. Now, there are high levels of deprivation in parts of Scarborough, and the Sixth Form College is a key route to higher education or employment opportunities for young people. So, will the honourable member for Mid Sussex join me with praising the dedication and hard work of sixth form college staff, not just in Scarborough, but across the country, enabling students to reach their full potential?
Thank you. I thank the honourable member for that intervention and agree that sixth form college teachers do a huge amount of good supporting students from a vast variety of backgrounds, including those from disadvantaged backgrounds. This evening, I was pleased to meet in Parliament my constituent, Amelie Lockhart, a Year 13 student at Varndene, and Fleur Hemmings, a philosophy teacher, also at Varndene. Amelie told me that the strikes are limiting the time left for Year 13 students to finish their subject content, and she and her friends are worrying about hitting their grades for university. Sam from Haywards Heath, a student at Basvic, said, "I'm worried about learning all the content for my A-levels at this crucial point in my life, but I support the teachers in this strike." Similarly, Madam Deputy Speaker, a Year 12 double maths student from Basvic told me that because they complete A-level maths in just 1 year, the strikes mean that he has already missed out on the teaching of several topics of learning crucial to his exams in June. In addition, BTEC students started exams last week, just as 3 days of strikes took effect, and university applicants who need extra support, often students from more disadvantaged backgrounds or with special educational needs, have been impacted just before the end of January application deadline. Lily from Haywards Heath, who studies at Collier's, says, "These strikes disrupted my learning during mocks week. I didn't have the proper class time to prepare for my exams. Of course I support the teachers. I think they should get the proper salary they deserve." I would happily give way.
Madam Deputy, can I commend Daby from Mid Sussex for bringing this forward? I spoke to her beforehand just to give her an example and support her in what she's bringing forward, because in Northern Ireland there's been some strikes similar to Sussex with the approaching teachers' strikes. And the main thing that came out of what my constituents are telling me is to ensure that the students who are already under enormous pressure for exam periods are not left struggling under undue duress and pressure. And does the Honourable Lady feel that perhaps when it comes to sorting the problems out, the issue of the students cannot be ignored as alongside the teachers' wage increase, which is very important as well?
I thank the honourable member from Strangford for his intervention and agree that really at the centre of this debate, and this is why the title of the debate is what it is, it's about the impact on the students. Emma, a parent from Hurstpierpoint, has said to me that it is madness that the government thought they could agree a deal with one set of teachers and exclude another. Meanwhile, a Basvic parent has told me that they support the teachers but are frustrated that their children, who were let down during COVID by a Conservative government, are now being let down by a Labour government too. And so it is that teachers like Fleur decided to go on strike with a heavy heart. They are mindful that students get just 2 short years at college to study and prepare for their futures, and every day counts. And for our Year 12 and Year 13 students, this is, of course, just the latest round of disruption that their education has been subject to. They were in Years 7 and 8 when the first COVID lockdown was announced and didn't get back into school for 6 months. There was a profound impact, not just on their learning, but on their social and emotional development too, with soaring rates of mental ill health and school absenteeism still being widely reported 5 years later. And then, during 2022 and 2023, there were further rounds of strikes in these students' schools. As Ariane from Haywards Heath, who is a BASVIC student, said this week, the most frustrating thing is the loss of routine. The strikes have made it hard to integrate back into college after Christmas. We can't get as much support from teachers for coursework, which might affect our grades. It feels very disengaging. Nonetheless, I still support the teacher strikes and understand that if change is going to happen, you have got to do something disruptive.
Will my honourable friend give way?
I'll happily give way.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to my honourable friend for giving way. I was at Marple College in my Hazel Grove constituency on Friday of last week, speaking to a number of young learners, and they were talking to me about the really important elements of quality teaching and how that helps them, exactly as she's laid out, and she's mentioned a number of her constituents who've made exactly the same point. I've also been contacted by the principal of Aquinas College, knowing that she'd secured this debate today, and I just want to share one sentence, which is, we really should be putting students and their education first, and it seems a great shame that we cannot avert these strikes and get sixth form teachers back where they belong, in front of our students. That's Danny Pearson, the principal of Aquinas. Does she agree with me and Danny that government could and should do more to get teachers, brilliant teachers, back in front of their students where they belong?
Thank my honourable friend for her intervention, and yes, I absolutely agree that more needs to be done, and it needs to be done with urgency. So why then would sixth form teachers take this step and cause more disruption to their students? Madam Deputy Speaker, I think that these strikes have come about because of sheer frustration at an illogical pay offer that effectively creates a two-tier sixth form system. In July, the government accepted the recommendation from the School Teachers Review Body, the STRB, to increase the pay of teachers in schools by 5.5%. £1.2 billion of funding was provided for this pay award, but the government excluded teachers at non-academised sixth form colleges from this pay award. And yet these teachers do exactly the same job as those in academised sixth form colleges and at maintained schools. Madam Deputy Speaker, so far the government has provided two explanations for their illogical decision. Firstly that, and I quote my written parliamentary question response, the government is not responsible for setting or making recommendations about teacher pay in further education colleges, including sixth form colleges. One college principal I have talked to described this explanation as inaccurate at best, deceptive at worst. In fact, the government has made a choice here. They could have chosen to provide more funding into colleges in order to help fund pay awards, but they didn't. There is precedent for making this choice. In 2023, the then Conservative Education Secretary chose to provide more money for all colleges through the 16 to 19 funding formula. This is a choice that is costing some students valuable teaching time, while other students, and in some cases at schools just down the road, are having no such trouble. The second explanation the government has given is that they are facing a very challenging fiscal context. The government was able to find £1.2 billion for the initial pay award, but then said they could not provide the extra £19 million needed to end these strikes. This relatively small amount would ensure pay parity for teachers everywhere in the country, and in doing so, stop students from needlessly missing out on vital days of education. As the funding settlement of 2023 proves, it is absolutely possible to extend this support to all sixth form colleges, and there is no legal or technical reason to prevent it. It is a choice in the gift of the government. To add insult to injury, sixth form colleges are already facing significant funding inequalities. According to the Institute for Fiscal Studies, government spending on students in these colleges is 26% lower than for students in secondary schools. And, unlike schools and academies, they cannot reclaim VAT, costing them around £350,000 per year on average. Then there are the longer-term implications of the widening pay gap. The IFS has estimated that as a result of last year's 5.5% pay award for school teachers and the 2.5% increase for college teachers, this academic year the pay gap will be the highest on record at £7,000 or 18%. My constituent Jo, a senior sixth form college teacher, told me that as a mentor for early career teachers, one of her mentees has already had to leave Brighton and return to Newcastle as he could not afford to live in the southeast. And another of her current mentees is finding it difficult to survive on his teaching salary. She said that the erosion of teachers' pay over the past decade, together with the high cost of living in this part of the country, means that Sussex is losing very good teachers, which in her words is a direct threat to current and future students. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Government must take urgent action to ensure that teachers in sixth form colleges receive the 5.5% pay award backdated from the 1st of September 2024. This is essential if we want to ensure that students' education is not further disrupted. There is, as we have heard, a clear and compelling case for providing funding to sixth form colleges. The Government must change course. It appears to have belatedly realised that it made the wrong choice and has recently offered a staggered pay rise with the 5.5% applying from the 1st of April. However, this would still leave a pay discrepancy of £2,000 for no logical reason other than, I presume, to be seen not to backtrack completely from its ridiculous initial decision. The Government must prioritise the education of students from Sussex and across the country, and it must ensure that sixth form colleges can contribute to recruit and retain excellent teaching staff. Varndine, Baswick and Colliers are currently offering some of the very best opportunities within the state sector to our country's 16 to 18-year-olds. But this is at risk if the Labour government does not urgently address the inequality it is exacerbating in the sector. In the strongest terms, I close by urging the Minister and the government to reconsider their approach, to find the small amount of money remaining to ensure teachers are paid the same for the same job, and to finally put this cohort of students whose education was most affected by COVID disruption at the centre of decisions made by government that affect them. Thank you.
Janet Daby.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I congratulate the Honourable Member for Mid Sussex on securing a debate on this important subject, and I will endeavour to respond to as many points as possible that has been made. Since taking on the role of the Minister for Skills, my noble friend in the other place has met with many of our amazing teachers, support staff, leaders in the FE sector, including our sixth form college sector. And I would like to thank all of those people for the excellent work that they do day in and day out. Alongside schools, FE colleges and other FE providers, sixth form colleges play a vital role in transforming the lives of our young people, breaking down their barriers to opportunity and ensuring they can progress into further training, higher education on higher quality careers. This is central to our mission to deliver economic growth, ensuring and enabling success not just for individuals but for our communities, companies and country. Colleges, teachers, technicians, everyone that supports students are important to us. This government will treat them with the value and respect that they deserve. The government believes, as Labour governments always do, that education is about opportunity, and that role of government is to extend opportunity to young people from every background and every corner in this country. The government's commitment to the education of young people was plain to see, and our Chancellor's budget announcement will provide an additional £300 million for further education to ensure young people are gaining the education and skills that they need and that this country needs. Our fantastic sixth form colleges will benefit from this increase, and we announced on Friday that we are making approximately 15 million of that available to sixth form colleges and general FE colleges for April to July 2025. This one-off grant will enable colleges to respond to current priorities and challenges, including workforce recruitment and retention. The remaining funding will be made available to 16 to 19 funding rates for academic year 2025 to 2026, with the aim of ensuring that all 16 to 19 providers are funded on an equitable basis from 2025 to 2026. This was in context of a very challenging fiscal landscape and demonstrates the value we place on further education. I do, of course, acknowledge the challenges that sixth form colleges and their teachers face and the concerns about the disparity with school teachers following the School Teacher Pay Award in July. The School Teachers Award was made in line with the recommendations of the Independent School Teachers Review Body. However, pay in the FE sector, including in sixth form colleges, is a matter for colleges themselves, not government. Colleges are able to base pay on their specific needs and are not bound by the School Teacher Pay Award or related terms and conditions. As members will know, FE colleges, including sixth form colleges, were incorporated under the terms of the 1992 Further and Higher Education Act, which gave them autonomy over the pay and the contractual terms and conditions of their staff. In the case of the 6-day strike action that have taken place this academic year, I know that both sixth form colleges, teachers and leaders are always concerned to ensure the impact of the young people is minimised as far as possible. And I will acknowledge the Honourable member from Mid-Sussex and the information that she has shared in terms of some of those students' experiences. I know that both sixth form colleges and teachers and leaders, as I've said, are concerned about the impact on the young people. Some of the arrangements has included providing online learning where possible and keeping libraries and learning centres open to allow the opportunity for independent study. I know both sixth form college teachers and leaders will continue to consider and mitigate the impact of strikes on young people during the course of any industrial strike. We encourage open and constructive dialogue by all parties in the best interest of staff and students. We all have shared a goal in ensuring that our young people gain the very best education during this critical transition period. Our great FE teachers play a critical role in the lives of young people. We know that high quality teaching generates high quality outcomes for learners, and this is why we need more great FE teachers, including in critical subject areas. After a decade in which education was far from the heart of government thinking, the new Labour government is bringing about change at pace. It is for this reason we are committed to recruiting 6,500 new expert teachers across our schools, both mainstream and specialist and colleges over the course of this Parliament. Our measures will include getting more teachers into skills shortage subjects, supporting areas that face recruitment challenges and tackling retention issues. We have already begun to make good early progress towards this key pledge. We have already rolled out our targeted retention incentive to teachers in further education, including sixth form colleges, to boost recruitment and retention. For the first time, this gives eligible early career FE teachers in key STEM and technical shortage subjects up to £6,000 after tax annually on top of their normal pay. In addition, the Taking Teaching Further programme makes it easier for providers to recruit and retain those with relevant industry knowledge by providing early career support to help their transition into teaching. We also continue to support recruitment and retention with teachers' training bursaries worth up to £30,000 tax-free in certain key subject areas.
Thank you. I appreciate the Minister giving way. This is a huge problem in my constituency of Winchester. Between Sparshall Agricultural College, which provides specialist training, as has just been mentioned, and Peter Symonds Sixth Form College, which is one of the biggest sixth form colleges in the country, there's almost a total of 9,000 students affected by this, just in my constituency alone, because of this pay disparity and the resulting dispute. Would the Minister agree with me that government need to start viewing education as an investment to not just in our young people, but also to grow the economy, and not purely as a cost to be cut, which seems to have been the case over the last few years.
I thank the Honourable Member from Winchester for responding and speaking very much about the 9,000 students, probably plus, that are represented in his area. This government is very interested, extremely passionate about breaking down the barriers that prevent young people from progressing and moving forward. We recognise there's actually 1 in 8 young people not in training, education and employment. We absolutely recognise the need to get young people to have the skills, the training they need and support into employment. That is one of the key focuses and missions of this government. We're absolutely and totally committed to doing that. The National Further Education Teacher Recruitment Campaign is raising awareness and consideration of careers in FE. The campaign encourages people to visit the Teach in FE website to find out more and plan their next steps in 2023-24. There were more than 450,000 visits to this website. We absolutely are committed to ensuring that we recruit and retain more teachers across the school and colleges in our country. We are taking these steps to ensure we can attract and retain high-quality teachers across our schools and colleges. This is part of our aim to create a clear, flexible, high-quality skills system that supports people of all ages, breaking down the barriers to opportunity and driving economic growth. We've established Skills England to ensure we have the highly trained workforce needed to deliver the national, regional and local skills needs of the next decade, aligned with the upcoming industrial strategy. In carrying out its role, Skills England will work closely with employers, unions, government departments, local organisations and other agencies. Skills England will ensure this skills system is clear for employers and delivers training that they need. Skills England will play a key role in supporting the skilled workforce needed to deliver the government's 5 missions, driving economic growth, breaking down barriers to opportunity, supporting our NHS, safer streets and our clean energy transition. This links to our commitment to 1.5 million more homes and seizes the opportunity of net zero to create hundreds of thousands of good jobs. Skills England will ensure this skills system is clear for individuals, for both young people and older adults, strengthening career pathways into jobs across the economy. The government's dedication to skills reflect the utmost importance we place on transforming the lives and the economy. I would like to thank my the Honourable Member for Mid-Sussex for tabling this debate and for the other contributions that have taken place, which is of such a vital matter. I reiterate my thanks to the wonderful teachers and leaders who make such a difference to the prospects to our young people. This debate has given me the opportunity to talk about our plans for post-16 education and skills, which is essential for breaking down the barriers to opportunity and the country's economic growth. The additional £300 million funding for FE and also the targeted retention incentive, teacher training bursaries, including taking Teaching Further programme and our Teach in FE campaign, demonstrates the value we place on the FE workforce, including our excellent teachers and leaders in sixth form colleges. I pay tribute to the transformative work FE staff do day in and day out. High quality teaching is one of the biggest influences in positive learner outcomes, providing learners with the skills and knowledge they need to succeed. I'm sure we will continue to discuss skills, the 16 to 18 education in coming months, because the government recognises the importance of improving the prospects for young people and how this links to our plans to drive economic growth. FE teachers are and will remain central to these plans. Thank you.
The question is that this House do now adjourn. As many as that please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, the ayes have it. Order, order.